Hello everyone, Peppe Merolla here. How are you guys doing? And yes, today the drum hang with some of my best mentors, friends, and heroes of mine. I love those people with all my heart and great musicians. Some of my best mentors. And here we are, the great Carl Holland. I'm supposed to Mr. Carl Holland right now, and Ignacio Berroa. Let's see. Let's have all of us here. Yes, we got it right. We got it right now. All right. We're still laughing about this. I had to keep myself from laughing, guys.
Well, first
So,
of all, Pepe, let me just say thank you first of all for setting this up, and it's great to see you guys.
oh
And
no,
if anyone thinks that drummers are like really serious, you got the wrong instrument because most drummers are we're crazy.
no. We're waiting for Bill Goodwin. That he's trying to. He asked me a question. He goes like, "How this thing works on the iPhone?"
Well, he's so
So
tall.
he's gonna.
Maybe he's trying to
he's
get
gonna.
into the building.
Let's see. Let's see.
Carl,
We're
before
waiting
this
for.
begin, I was telling you that congratulations on your new position as a
Thank
teacher.
you,
Congratulations.
thank you, my friend. I
Well
appreciate it.
deserved.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very good for them. They got a great teacher.
Thank you,
Now, what are you
thank you.
teaching
Hope
now, Carl?
they take advantage.
Oh, thank you.
What are you teaching at, Carl?
Well, I just accepted a position as endowed chair of jazz studies at UMKC in Kansas City.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. That's the school where Bobby Watson was. So he
Yeah.
retired about 2 years ago, but he's still there. He's still around. So
So how are you
I'm
going to do
starting.
this now? You're doing online and then you fly there?
Well, we'll start in August, and I'm gonna get a place there and just kind of
Right.
be back and
Yeah.
forth. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's wonderful.
I'm glad it didn't happen last year because man, trying to teach online, you guys know that teaching online
Oh,
is hard.
very hard. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is
So
really. So that's wonderful. Congratulations. So lucky students.
thank you. Lucky me.
Yeah. It worked both ways, I guess, because at least for me, when I teach someone, I always learn something from them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's funny,
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
So, Ignacio, how do you like the Florida Keys? Where are you exactly? In
Man,
Florida, right?
being from Cuba, Florida is a great place because the weather. In May is gonna be 41 years since I moved to the United States, and I
Wow.
I tell you something, man. Never got used to the winter time. Well, the winter is okay. What really bothers me from living up there north is when it's snow, all that snows, and then when you have to drive through the snow. So anyway, in that regard it's cool to be down here in Miami. But I always told people, musically speaking, I don't think Miami is the place to be. It's a nice place where you have your pad, you come down here, you relax, and then you go out on the road. uh, but it's nice.
Yeah.
I got my families, my kids, my grandkids, my old friends from Cuba. Most of them are here. So in that regard, it is good. It is good.
When did
You
you move
know,
back? When did you move back?
go ahead,
Because you were
Carl.
in Jersey, right?
I was in Jersey, and then we did that master class that you invite me at
Yeah.
Juilliard. I don't remember what was that, but I came back down on December 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in New Jersey for but my second time there because at first I lived 9 years in New York, came down here, spent 17 years down here while I was with Dizzy and Tito Puente, and then moved back in 2006 and spent another 9 years in Jersey.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah. But I miss, I always tell people, man, I feel like I was born and raised in New York.
Mm,
So in my heart, I came when I was 26 years old from Cuba, born and raised there. But then my life began again when I arrived to New York. I learned everything about this country, speak the language, everything in New York. So
mm.
I feel like if they allow me to, I'm a New Yorker.
You're a New Yorker, yeah. You're a New
But
Yorker, that's for
no,
sure.
I agree with you, Ignacio. There's two ways to go. You hate New York or you love it.
Yeah, and
Two ways to go. You hate
I
it or
love
you love it. I
for
love
me.
it.
Yeah, for me it was impressive. In New York, I saw all my heroes. I was able to see all my heroes that were alive. I got the gig with Dizzy. I got the chance of meeting the great upcoming drummers like Kenny Washington, Carl Allen, Louis Nash, all of them. So incredible memories for me from New York.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I have a question. How do you guys think the scene will change in general after this pandemic?
Wow.
You don't want to
That's
hear that from me. I mean, I mean, yeah. To me, Ignacio, you want to go first?
Whatever.
No, you go first.
So you
You go first. You know,
throwing the ball to me, my friends. I really hope for the best, but I think that after the pandemic, I don't know, unless science comes with something, like when we went through tuberculosis or polio, those things way back. I think that unless science come with something powerful that eliminate the virus, I think people are gonna be afraid of going to clubs. I don't see clubs and theaters running the way they used to. I don't think we're gonna see again a theater with 2,000 people in there or even 800 people sitting next to each other. I don't see we're gonna go to the Village Vanguard and see people unless something is discovered to eliminate this pandemic. The scene is gonna change since the clubs and the theaters they're not gonna make going now to the business side. In my opinion, since they're not gonna make the same money,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to make the money that we used to make in order for us to live. Because as everybody, or maybe not too many people know, we just musicians and just drummer, we are not millionaires.
Right.
Like a
Right.
lot of people think. We
Right.
are we are just regular guys trying to make our living, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna we're gonna have to adjust to the new world.
Yeah.
Make less money and pay more for everything else.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really hope. I really hope that this change, that something is found to kill this virus, and that we can go back to normal. Otherwise, I don't see things going back to normal the way it used to be.
Yeah.
well,
That's my Cuban opinion. So let,
to me, I only hope that this pandemic will end soon
yeah.
because you're talking about how the scene is gonna change, or what was your question? Because I was talking to Bill. Bill was like
Yeah, no,
brain
I
me.
was just asking, how do you think, yeah, the scene will change, or what things will be like when this pandemic is over?
Well, I think once this pandemic is over, I think people are dying to go out and
Yeah.
and hear the real, live music and embrace the musicians, shake their hands. I mean, let's talk to them personally, having the human contact like it used to be. Because this virtual thing to me is like making love to a baby doll. You know what I'm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know. I think people are dying to go out there and really watch the band. Look at because it's a different thing
Yeah.
to me. So, and I believe that a lot of people will support music. Hopefully, jazz club they're going to be a little more open mind to to have more than the usual band that plays in their club. Open up the door for everyone. I think that would be the change. That's the change I wish. Not on my side, because in New York, as you know, there's many clubs in New York, any clubs everywhere we go. But for some reason, I always see the same people in one club, same people in another. They should just like give a little variety and have more, people going to the club and play, give other people chance to play, and not the same 4 or 5 people. I
Yeah.
think that's what I hope the pandemic will bring.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I agree with both you guys, and I also think unless there is some kind of government funding for these clubs and these venues, it's going to be difficult because to Ignacio's point, as it is, jazz clubs they have to they got to fill every single seat before they can actually make a profit, right? So if we're not comfortable being that packed in, that means they're going to have fewer seats, and then that money's going to have to come from somewhere. So
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. If there's some kind of government funding, but then anytime you start talking about that, you always got to be concerned about corruption and people not, whatever, So, but I do think it's interesting because here in New York, it feels like things are starting to open up a little bit because of the vaccine. However, the clubs are still not allowed to have more than a certain number of people, but the restaurants do. So it's kind of weird. Like you can have restaurants open, for with a higher percentage than clubs. So it doesn't really make sense.
And the
And
restaurants, excuse me, one question, Carl. And the restaurants in New York are allowed to have the same amount of people inside, or it is because they have the opportunity of seating people outside?
well, no, they've just. I think you can sit inside now, something
Okay.
like 33% or something.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but if for a club, it might be 25%.
25%.
But
Yep.
if you're a club and you got to pay the band, 25% is not going to be enough to pay the band.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, guys, I would like to make an announcement to some people who are following right now. If you guys have any question, please feel free to stop by, say hello, introduce yourself. We would love to hear from each one of you guys, and meet also virtually. Unfortunately, it's only virtually right now, but see, that's what the pandemic eventually will, the change of the pandemic will be, that we, be able to meet each and every one of you. So please make sure that you guys stop by, say hello, follow this live stream, because there's going to be a giveaway pad. Carl, you want to talk about the Prologic for a second, about the Prologic giveaway?
Well, yeah. So we are both. Well, Pepe and I, and hopefully we can get Ignacio in there too, are endorsing this wonderful practice pads, and they make a pad for the set and for the marching, for hands, for bass drum. Is really great. Prologic.
Oh,
And Pepe's got a couple of them right there. In fact, Pepe's got so many of them. Pepe was playing something I didn't even know they made.
No, no.
What is that?
You know this one, right? You got this one.
Yeah, yeah,
So this is the only one, all-in-one pad, and it comes also with the rim shot. Check this
Right.
out, Carl.
Yeah.
Ignacio
wow.
comes with the rim shot, and the rebound is pretty cool on this one. It's very close, to the real deal, the snare drum, the skin. And it comes with this pad, which is quiet pad. Still,
Yes.
with a little less rebounds, this is very quiet. You can practice also this in the morning next to a little baby that is sleeping baby that you don't
Yeah.
want to wake up in the morning. You just like can practice the baby. You're not going to wake up the baby, that's for sure.
That's
So here it
that's
is. Yeah. And it also comes with another pad. I have it in my bag over there. Kind of like this. You take this off and you put the other one on and play brushes.
Yeah.
You can also,
Wow.
practice. And this is the only one Russ Miller practice pad.
So
You know.
so Pepe, we have to get Ignacio introduced to For the
Jason.
folks that, yeah, so we can make that
Yeah.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Actually, I talked to Jason this morning about Ignacio.
Oh, great.
Yes, I
And he
did.
and he
So-
said I don't want Cubans here.
No, 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 no. Actually, he loved when I told him the story about where you come from and what you did, and when you came to New York and the gig that you got with Dizzy's, you know. So he really loved it. Oh, Bill Goodwin is watching. Bill, you're watching. You're supposed to follow the link. Hold on, guys. Give me a. Hold on. Okay, Bill, don't move. I'm gonna go. No, hear this. I'm gonna send you an email right now, which I'm trying to get off the chat. Maybe Carl, you want to talk to Ignacio for a minute? I'm gonna go out
Okay.
and leave you guys alone for a second at the airport. Hold on one second. I'm going to send the link. I got to do an operation here. So you guys, here, Carl, take over.
So Ignacio, tell me, what are things like on the scene in Miami right now? Are things opening up a little bit?
No, terrible. Actually, there were just one club here, Le Chat Noir, that was operating with 25% people, so we're following all the rules. They were following all the rules, but they have to close. The same problem. They weren't able to pay the lease, so forth and so on, and the club is closed. That was the only place here in Miami where we were able to play. So right now it's down to zero.
Wow.
Zero. I
That's
think the owner, I spoke to the owner a couple of days ago, and he told me that he's trying to open a new place because the guys that run the club are really, really great jazz fans.
Yeah.
Great. And they trying to open, but like I said, Carl, everything is going up. Meaning, everything, food, everything is going up. And speaking about clubs, we continue making same money I remember I used to make many years ago.
Right. Yeah.
So,
no, and it's very challenging because we've all gone through a period where things weren't as popular with the music in the States, but we would go to Europe 3-4 times a year. We go to Japan once or twice a year. But of course now with the pandemic, this is global, and man, I've had so many trips to Japan canceled and Europe, and
wow,
it's
yeah,
like, oh man, so it's, but to your point, I think it's gonna have to be something with science, and also there's got to be some government funding on a huge level to bail out the arts, man, because otherwise.
I'm with you, Carl. We need someone, meaning talking about the government, that really love our music. I'm gonna include myself, as an American as well. Someone that really treasure our national art form,
Right.
and get some, so we can get some funding to continue playing this music.
Right.
In my case, that even though I'm Cuban, the music of my passion is jazz. Not blame it on me, blame it on Nat King Cole. So I really hope that we get some funding to continuing this mission.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, and it's really all of the arts. This is not just the jazz thing, but the classical world.
The classical world,
dance, Broadway.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope that someone think about it and allocate some money for us.
Right. Okay, we can stop talking bad about Pepe now. He's back, so.
I sent a bill. Hey, here you go.
Where is it? Where is he?
He made it. Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. Bill Goodwin.
You guys hear me?
Whoa!
You guys hear me?
Hello.
Finally.
Bill,
I apologize for being such an old guy. I don't know how anything works.
Hey, that was
Still,
fun.
still working on my left hand, you know.
No. The problem you were having is that you are so tall that you were having problems
Yeah,
going
right.
through the door.
They're so tall that
And
the
what?
blood never gets to my brain. That's the problem.
Hey man,
Hey
great
man, so
great to see
all of
you.
all of you guys.
You too.
Hey, we have
Great
like
to
an
see you,
entire
Bill.
bald-headed bunch here, man. Ignacio's got a little hair, I see.
Well,
The
I
rest of
tell
us
if
not
you
so much.
if you squint and turn sideways, you can see a little bit. So
Yeah, gotta be under the right light. Yeah, I know what you're
yeah.
talking about.
You know, it's
What's
funny
up?
because I used to have a long hair, but then for some reason, over the years, for some reason, I lose hairs right here. So I decided, I said, you
Oh
know
yeah.
what, I'm going to create a new look. So I bought the machine, and I just I shaved my own hair,
Yeah.
my head. That's the best way to do it. That's why I came up with the look. I said I'm going to cut and shave everything because it was funny with the long hair, and then to get this thing here like there's nothing there. It's like,
Yeah, no. I had the same problem. The male pattern baldness. It started in my early 20s, actually. So, but the thing is, when we started shaving our heads, like 25 or 30 years ago, I first started shaving my head, and people thought it was weird, man. Like nobody had a bald head on purpose, right? Except then Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan came along. Everybody said, "Wow, that's a really cool look." Now it was okay.
so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. We got Carl Allen, Ignacio Berroa, and Bill Goodwin. If you guys have any question, please feel free to stop by, say hello. We're going to do a giveaway practice spot. I don't know if Bill followed that. He was out of the chat when we were talking about these Prologic pads, and we're going to do a
Yeah,
giveaway.
I saw a little bit of the I saw the
Right.
video of you
So
warming
we
up.
gotta come up. We gotta come up with a question or something with an idea to, how to give away this pod. There's only one pod, and I'm sure there are more than one person watching. So we gotta come up with an idea, guys. I need help.
So there's only one pad in the whole world, or you only have one?
It's a one pad giveaway. It's not this one, but it's going to be the method pad giveaway, which is kind of similar to this one. That's what it is. Would be this. Yeah, it's a nice practice pad by Prologic. They are so nice that they wanted to offer, a giveaway practice pad on this live stream. So I would like to really thank Prologic practice pad. Prologic American pads, right?
Yes. I think they're in. Ohio.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Jason's supposed to join us, but he just sent me a text. He can't do it. They're working on the new product, so he's driving all over Ohio. And so we just say, hi, have a great day, Jason, you and your team, and keep doing the great job. Keep the great work coming. And
So I have a question for Bill. So Bill,
Yes.
how long did you play with Phil Woods? Because man, I'm gonna tell you something. I remember seeing you, I think around 1977, on a program with Phil on PBS. And I
Yeah,
remember
it's probably jazz from the maintenance shop
yes.
from
And man,
Ohio. Where is it? Ames, Ohio.
And man, I was like, man, who is this guy? And then I just, because the band had such great chemistry, and then of course when I moved to New York in '81, you were still playing with him. I was like, wow, I didn't know people stayed with one band that long. I mean, this is many years ago, But how long were you with Phil?
Well, most people have better sense than I do. I stayed with Phil. I played with Phil from 1974 until 2015.
Wow.
It's like 41 years. 41 years.
Yeah.
We did our last job and recording in 15, and he passed away later that year.
Wow.
But
wow.
the thing
Rest in peace.
about Phil was it wasn't like anything I planned at all. He married my sister,
Right.
and she brought him to my house. I knew he was playing, of course, but I'd never met him really. And then one day he shows up at my house, and he needed a place to stay, so he actually lived with me and my family for a couple of months. And I introduced him to our bass player, Steve Gilmore.
Yeah.
Steve was also in the band from the beginning to the end, like me.
What about Hal
just
Galper? Was
me
in the
and-
beginning too?
No, Hal was the second piano player. First
Okay.
piano player is Mike Melillo.
Mike Melillo.
Mike Melillo from Newark, New Jersey, who been living in Italy for many years. He lives in Macerata.
It sounds like he was Italian. Melillo.
Melillo, yeah.
Mike,
He's
was he Italian or?
he's from Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
From Newark, New Jersey. He went to high school with Larry Young, Wayne, Wayne
Oh.
Shorter, all those guys. He's a contemporary of, a little younger than Wayne, about the same age as who was it? The people that were in his high school. It was Larry, Larry
Yeah.
Young, and some other people that were around there. Pat Senator, who is a bass player with the Tijuana Brass. He lives
And
in
was
Italy
Eddie
now
Eddie
too.
Eddie,
Everybody
Eddie
ends up
Gladden
living
around
in
that
Italy.
time? Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie was in Newark. He used to play the organ gigs.
Yeah. At
Peppermint
LC's.
Lounge.
LC's.
Lounge, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, Phil's group started up. We started playing at Gulliver's. We started playing at Gulliver's and the Three Sisters, both in West Patterson. Some of our earliest gigs, and then in Pennsylvania, and it kind of expanded. By '77, we were already touring internationally, and we started, touring nationally. I think in '75, internationally in '75 or '76. In '77, I think it was '77. I met Ignacio at Disneyland.
No,
With
no,
playing
that
with
was
Tito.
no, that was 81, 81,
Oh, that was '81. Okay.
81.
So Hal Galper was already with the band then. Yeah.
Yeah, 77, I was still in Cuba. I left Cuba in 1980. Now I got a question. Do you remember when you guys recorded that album live at the Showboat in Atlantic City?
Yeah, that was it was in 1976.
Okay. I was
It came out.
lucky
We
that
recorded. It came out in '76. Yeah.
that's how that album turned me on to you, because we got lucky in Havana, and a group of musicians came to the United States, and one of the members went back to Cuba with that album. That was the first time I listened to you. That was when I became a fan of yours, of yours, and also Phil Woods. So we used to listen to that album a lot. Yep. Live at the Showboat.
Wow.
Yep.
See, Bill, that would make you a legend.
I remember you telling me that when we met. You said,
Yep. No, I'm sure I didn't, because when we met,
more of
my
a
Eng-
rumor than a legend, Carl.
my Bill, when we met, my English was through signals.
Like the abominable drum man.
No, I'm sure someone on
Your English was fine, Ignacio.
now one of the members of the band back then, I'm sure someone served as a translator. But I was very impressed when I met you, because you were one of my heroes when I was in Cuba. I think we lost Bill.
Well,
Bill, are you there?
You surprised me because you said I was very well known in Cuba.
Yep.
I'm going like, no, I'm here. I'm here.
Yep. You were very well
here.
known in Cuba, because
I was telling you, Ignacio, I was surprised that
Can you hear?
If that's what you
Ah,
told me, I was very surprised.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I can
A
hear it.
lot of
I'm good.
a lot of musicians,
Sometimes it's freezing
American,
up a little bit, but
yeah, freezing up. A lot of American musicians are very well known in Cuba. Very
yeah,
well. They had no idea. And I used to tell a lot of my colleagues, most of them are no longer with us, but how well known they were in the island. Yeah.
So, but Ignacio, were you part of
I think it was,
Irakere?
it was hard to get recordings, right?
No, Carl. A lot of people are confused and think that I play with Irakere. They are all older than me. I'm not too far apart from them. But the drummer of the band Irakere is a guy called Enrique Pla.
Mm.
Also, what happens is that some people, I recorded an album with Tito Puente. We recorded Tito Puente at some point in the 96. He formed a band called Latin Jazz, Tito Puente and his Latin Jazz All Stars. And on the first album that was live at the Village Gate, the guy who wrote the liner notes put, oh, Ignacio, ex Irakere alumni. But I play with Irakere once.
Ah.
One number at a rehearsal. I go to see the rehearsal, and when I show up, I see the pianist Chucho Valdez starts signaling me like, come, come, come. And when I get close to them, I see that there were no drummer. And I asked, where is Enrique? And he said, Enrique went to the hospital. He got an asthma attack. Sit down and
And
play
play.
this tune with us. That was the only time I played with Irakere. It was
Wow.
by accident, but now I was not a member of that band.
Now,
Wow.
Carl, are you familiar with the Irakere music?
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, my brother used to play some of their records, and this was like, yeah, I mean, because Arturo was in the band, and Paquito was in the band, right?
Yeah,
Paquito,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They were members of the band. Yeah, yeah. It
But
was.
I gotta tell, I love that, music. I love
that
the
that
music
was
of Irakere.
that was like the Cuban version of the Jazz Messengers.
That's it.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
You
The
know?
Cuban version of Jazz Messengers with Afro-Cuban percussion.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, the band Irakere started it without a drummer. It was all percussionists. Is that correct?
No, what happened is that Shusho, I think before Irakere, he did a project called Jazz Bata that was piano, bass, and bata drums.
Mm.
Yes.
But no, Irakere started with drums. Actually, the first album was not recorded by the drummer that everybody knows, the drummer
No.
that was associated with the band. There's another guy, Bernardo Garcia. He recorded the first album, and he was the drummer on the, I think, first or 2 years of Irakere, because Enrique Pla was in the army.
Mm.
Yeah. But to answer the question, I wish I would have played with Irakere, because Irakere came to the United States in 1977, 1978. That would have given me some ammunition, meaning knowing some people, but in the United States. But when I arrived to New York, I didn't know anybody. Nobody.
Mm.
Nobody knew who I was. I had nothing to show. Like, oh, listen, I was the drummer. I was Irakere's drummer.
Wow.
No business card to present.
You know what? No, I'm very. I gotta say, first of all, I love the arrangements of Irakere, the brass section, all the arrangement. They were killing. I mean, really beautiful arrangements. And as you know, I play trumpet. I love trumpet stuff, and man, that the brass section was killing. The arrangements, they were like unbelievable. And what I loved, the evolution of the Irakere, which, like you said, it started with the drum set, but then they added percussionists, all the percussion ensemble to the band, and that really, I was very, it was very inspiring to hear the drum talking and the conversation between the jazz drum set and the percussion, and that's one of the main thing in Cuba. Like that's the reason why a lot of drummers they get together and they play, because all different instruments, because it's like a conversation. It's a drum talking conversation, which is that's the main idea, of the Cuban drumming. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It is correct. It is correct. So yeah, Irakere. I always tell Irakere was confirmed by the best instrumentalists that Cuba had at, in that era. They were virtuosos. Most of them were virtuosos in their instruments and got together. And also, I think I should point out that living in Cuba, when you have the opportunity to have a steady salary, this is one of the advantages. There were a lot of disadvantages, but you have a band and you can rehearse every day,
Yeah.
every day with the same band, You don't have to worry about, well, the bass player got another gig tomorrow, or he going on tour with Freddie Howard. You got the same unit, and you rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. So when you add virtuosism with everyday rehearsal, bang,
No,
amazing.
I have a dear friend and also a wonderful drummer and educator, my
Yeah.
dear friend Sergio, which just joined the chat. Sergio Bellotti is here. He's going to crash the party for a minute. He's in the car, and here it is. Sergio, are you there, Sergio?
Hey guys,
Hey, Sergio.
Sergio, how you doing?
good man, good to see you all. I'm
You
not
too.
driving, so it's all safe. I just pulled I just want to make sure, and I don't encourage anyone to do meetings while driving. So
Just don't text.
exactly.
I got to
Hey,
tell
no
you,
hands.
all the Italians can drive and do anything.
Right.
I had my first child when I was driving.
Oh,
I could.
Then if you right, and if you talk with your hands, then you take
That's
the
it.
hands off the wheel. Right. That's coordination right there. Coordination.
How you
to
doing,
see you guys.
Sergio?
I'm doing good. So good to see you all.
So, but now I got a question for Carl actually, and then one. I mean, I got so many questions for all of you guys because okay, one thing is, I'm having a great time here, and asking questions, sharing a laugh, sharing a great time, really. But those guys, Sergio, those are my mentors, some of my best mentors. They to me it's like this is like Christmas every time I see them and every time I chat with them. I feel like it's Christmas. It's a beautiful Christmas present.
Well,
So
I'll tell you, I keep looking to the side because I'm amazed at technology, right? Because I was checking my phone, and I guess it actually went through because I was just trying to send you that $500 that you told me I have to send you for you to say something nice about me. So I guess it went through already, huh?
got that PayPal is great.
Amazing! It's amazing.
And now
Yeah,
we are right here. So, first of all, Bill
Pepe only charged me
Goodwin,
100, Carl.
how much you got, Bill?
Yeah.
How much you got? 500? You only got $500?
Say what?
How much you got from me? Did you
I
check
can
your
hear you,
phone?
but it's no. You. I got. I got like $50, man. What can you do for it?
Oh man, no, I'm feel sorry. I think I thought I sent
I
you
got
good
no
money.
gigs, man, so I only got 50.
So, but Bill Goodwin,
No,
how
I put a little
was
money aside. I put a little money aside for marijuana, but it didn't work out. So
no? Well, it's
I came
legal
up with a few
nowadays. You
bucks.
can
So
say it. I guess you can say it's legal here in California. But my question is, but I hear a noise.
oh,
What's this
I
noise?
thought I thought it was legal all over for a long time now.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
There is a noise. There is a noise. Well, I think that there is nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it.
So,
We lost Carl.
We lost Carl.
It's a,
guys, you're
I think
Pepe.
Sergio. Yeah, but you're not connected.
I'm gonna leave. Come back in.
Okay, okay, okay. I got you. I got you. So here it is, Carl.
I don't know
Okay.
what happened. It just
He's-
disappeared.
He's back.
so
Yeah, that's better now.
Yeah.
I have a question for Ignacio.
Oh. Yeah.
So I have a question, Ignacio. Ignacio, so where does you're like a little older than the it's like the Gonzalo Negro, right? They
I'm
come along
older.
a little bit for you.
I'm older
Like
than
in
El
the later-
Negro. I think I'm 10 years older than him.
Yeah, you're a little bit older. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be 68 in July. So
Oh.
I think
that much.
Negro.
Well, you look good, man.
Thank you. Negro
God
is
bless.
gonna. Thank you. Negro is I think is 58 now, around 58, 57.
Horacio.
Yeah, Horacio. Yeah,
Yeah, but
when
you
I
guys look younger.
yeah when I left Cuba, Horacio was a teenager, so I never met him. I never saw him play. The first time I saw him play was the North Sea Jazz Festival with Gonzalo's band, probably late 80s. That's when I met it. I know his father. His father was a huge jazz fan. One of the guys in Cuba that had a greatest knowledge about the genre, and he used to have for a while the only jazz radio show in Cuba, and his name was Horacio Hernandez. I knew his dad, but I never met Negro. I met him when I met him. He was already playing with Gonzalo.
Whoa. So when you were in Cuba, wait a minute. You knew Horacio's father,
Horacio's
Yeah, I
father.
heard those guys.
but you never really actually met Horacio El Negro in Cuba. You met him in New York.
In Europe. I met it in Europe. I remember vividly. I met it in Sweden. The first time I was exposed to Gonzalo Rubalcaba, I was touring. I don't remember with whom. I was touring, and I was in Sweden, and I was impressed. And then that was the first time I met Gonzalo in Cuba when he was a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were three brothers, three amazing musicians, and the second, the eldest was a bass player. The second one was a great pianist, and he studied with me at the conservatory. And then he always used to mention his little brother Gonzalo. Gonzalo started being a drummer. He was a drummer when he began.
Wow.
Then he switched to piano. So I met Gonzalo when he was 15 years old. One day I was somewhere playing, and he came up to me and he introduced himself, and that was it. That was probably 1979, a year before I left. And the next time I saw him, he was already with his band playing at the famous Swedish Jazz Festival. Carl, I know you, and you, Bill, you played there many times. That festival they used to do outdoors in the summer, close to the harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jazz and Blues Festival. The Jazz and Blues in
Yep.
Sweden. So that's where I met El Negro. Then I saw him Again, I think at the North Sea Jazz Festival, but I never met him. I'm not from that generation.
Wow,
And
that's
he moved back
incredible.
to Cuba.
He moved back to Cuba.
Yeah.
He's living in Cuba. He after New York, I think he came here to Miami, stayed here for a while, and then went back to Cuba.
Yeah. I saw him there a few years ago. I was there a few years ago for International Jazz Day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he was hanging, and we had a good time hanging out.
great, great, and great.
Wow. So I was, let me ask you a question, Bill. My question to Bill was, Bill, how was, since I've never met him, how was Phil Woods? How easy was playing with him? Because, one thing I know personally from my experience, every time I play with somebody that is really
I
great.
can't. You're breaking up, Pepe.
Oh, can you hear me okay now?
No,
Can
you're
you hear me
breaking
okay?
up. Just ask me again.
Can you hear me okay now? Is that better?
I hear you better now. Yeah.
Okay, my question was, how
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Phil Woods as a person, as an individual, but most of all, how easy was playing with him? And the reason why I say how easy is because every time I play with someone great, they make it everything easier for me as a drummer. That's why I always say how easy it was, and how did you get the gig with him, and what kind of person was Phil Woods?
Well, he was married to my sister,
Yeah.
first of all,
Yes.
and so we hooked up that way. But then, we started playing. Well, of course, it was great to play with Phil. He's a great. He could really play at a great beat. His rhythm was exceptionally good. That idea of some guys are good, they just kind of turn it on and off like a faucet. To me, that's like
Yeah.
Phil. If he felt like playing, just turn it on. It'd be like, forget about it, forget about it. But even when he didn't feel like playing, he could do that. And you would never know unless you played with him all the time, like I did. I could tell, when he felt like playing, when he didn't feel. But how I felt was every time he started playing, it was like the first time. I was like, wow,
Mm,
that guy sure plays good.
mm.
Even after 30 some years, toward the end, I'm still going, well, Phil plays really good. I have hours and hours of unreleased recordings of the,
Yeah.
of the
Wow.
group and of Phil. And well, I was the producer of the group for 30 years. So
I would love to hear some of those
we did a
unpublished
project with Carl.
recording.
Carl produced one of our things.
Yeah. And
We did
there
for the
was a long there was
Japanese
a
way back in like 30 years ago.
yeah,
But
and there was
anyway,
talk.
you go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I was just going to say that it was you never I never got tired of playing. He was a complicated person. Sometimes he'd be hard to get along with. Plus, he was in my family, so it made it a little, the dimension of it was a little different than a normal, working relationship with somebody. But we usually worked it out. I never had to hit him in the mouth or anything.
I would love to hear some of those recordings that you have that they're not
I
published.
wouldn't have hit him in the mouth. I wouldn't have messed up
But
his job. But
actually your story about having all those hours of recording with Phil
there's
Wood,
there.
it reminds me of the drummer Billy James.
Well, hopefully they'll see
Carl, do you remember Billy James, the drummer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
wonderful drummer.
anyway, he was. Oh man, I met him in Philly, and I used to live in Yardley, close to Philadelphia, which I was hanging out on a daily basis with Mickey Rooker, and I talked to Ignacio about Mickey, that rest in peace. But anyway, Billy James, he had so many hours of recording with Sonny Stitt, not published. And what he was doing at the end of his days, unfortunately, that he passed away, but he was making those tape cassette. He was putting it on the CD and selling it for $5 at the club at Orleans. It was like, all Sonny Stitt stuff that has never been released, and Billy was handing it for $5, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it. I got a bunch of them, actually. But I would love to hear some of the stuff that you have, all those hours with Phil Woods, and hear some of the stuff that has not been published. That would be great. Maybe one day you should think about publish it, like release those, make a record,
Well,
release it.
In freeze.
it would be
Yeah.
it would be a box, so I don't know, about this big. I have so far. I mean, I have not digitized everything, and I've got about 12 hours now,
Wow.
and probably half of that is releasable. But more than 20 years ago, I did a 20th anniversary project for Mosaic. It was all unreleased recordings of the groups, starting in the 70s and going into the 90s. And it came
Wow.
out around 94, 95. And the edition was all stuff that had never been released on record. So live recordings, radio recordings, outtakes from the studio sessions. And I have the makings of another one, would be the 40th anniversary. But it's huge, man, and nobody seems to be in this record business climate. Nobody seems to be really interested, and I can't afford to do it myself. So I'm continuing to copy everything and digitize everything to save it, because a lot of it, a lot of it is like this, man. It's like analog, two-track
Ampex, yeah.
Ampex.
analog tape.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a 16 track, or
this is from
it's an 8 track, or 8 track or 16 track?
no two-track, direct
Oh.
two-track. No, two tracks.
Beautiful.
I recorded half stuff I've recorded has been recorded direct to two-track, because I'm an old guy, man. That's the way I came up. When I started recording, there was one track.
I
Then we
got
got
to
two,
tell
and it's
you,
like, yeah, man. Then we got three. It's like, oh, okay, And then after
and
that,
some
shit hit the fan.
So I know this is really random, but that 2-track reminded me of something that was hilarious. So back in the 90s, I believe it was in the 90s, Whoopi Goldberg had a talk show.
Uh-huh.
And on her show one day, there was a segment where Ike Turner was a guest. Now, we know 2-track been around a long time, right? So Whoopi says, "So Ike, what what you been working on?" "Oh, I'm working on a whole lot of new music, and it's just amazing how advanced technology is right now." They said, "Well, really, like what?" "You won't believe they just come out with 2-track." And Whoopi said, "Just now come out with 2-track?" He said, "Yeah, just come out with 2-track." She said, "Let's go to commercial break." Said Whoopi was like, "Even I know the 2-track been around a long time." I Turner said he just discovered it.
So
Oh my God.
I know that was random. I'm sorry.
I'm okay. But those records like River Deep, Mountain Phil Spector records, those are all mono. All the Phil Spector stuff was mono. It was huge, sounded huge, but it was not stereo. I think he was all mono stuff because I think he was deaf in one ear, so it didn't matter anyway. Right?
Wow. Well,
Unbelievable.
Just get a lot of musicians in there, and
so Bill, do you remember
one track, the widest tape they could find?
Yeah. Well, Bill, do you remember, man, there was a period when I was playing with Jackie Mack. For a while, Jackie kept telling us that the record company, whoever that was at the time, wanted him and Phil to do a record together. And this kept going back and forth, and it was like, well, what rhythm section? And Phil wanted to use his band, and Jackie wanted to use his band, and they kind of made it seem like it was this tense rivalry. But I just always felt they had a lot of love for each other, but obviously the record never happened. I was just wondering if you remember anything about that.
Those guys were. I do, and Jackie and Phil were very good friends. They weren't rivals at all, but Jackie was very about any business thing. I was involved in that project. I must have talked to them, I don't know, 100 times about it. I got us a deal on Blue Note to do it on Blue Note for a very significant spread. And every time I would talk to Dolly or Jackie about it, they would say they wanted more money. So it just went into this realm. Well, man. Yeah. And it went into a realm where we just even Blue Note couldn't afford what the budget got up to. But the original thing was the guy that were recording for the two Mitch KD, and I forget the name of the label, but I remember really liking that record with you and Renee and Hotep Cecil Bernard, right?
Yeah. And Nat Reeves.
Nat on bass.
Yep.
Nice record.
Yep, that was a lot of fun.
I'd like to know what Sergio's doing in that car. That he's going to drive. He's driving a little bit, then he stops. Yeah. Then he joined the chat again, and then maybe he's trying to find the signal.
Renee McLean.
No, I couldn't hear you guys, and then I thought it was me, so I logged off, and I tried to find a better spot. It looks like the audio for me is better now. I don't know for you guys if you hear okay.
Yes.
It might have been my signal. I was looking at the bars on my phone, so I moved a couple of blocks away from where I was, and here I am, hearing your great stories, guys.
I got a question for Carl. Carl,
okay, Sergio?
When you came to New York, you started, when you became professional, you started playing with Jackie Mack, and then your last gig of all the many gigs you did, but the last band you stayed was Freddie Hubbard?
No, I started playing, when I came to New York, I was going to school in New Jersey at William Patterson.
Yeah, William Patterson, yeah.
Then I transferred and I came to William Patterson in 1981.
Okay.
And I started playing with Freddie my last year in 82.
Oh!
So I was with him for 8 years, and then I started playing with Jackie around 87.
Oh, it was the other way around.
Yeah, so I was kind of doing both of them and George Coleman at the same time. It just so happened none of them had so much work where it conflicted. So it just kind of worked out.
Great. Oh, okay. Okay, because I remember one was the last time I saw you. It was at the Cincinnati Jazz Festival when you had that great band with Freddie and Woody show.
Oh, yeah, because we did 2 records, Double Take and Eternal Triangle.
Yes.
Wow, I mean, that was amazing.
That's like a Mamma Mia.
I remember it was back in the days when we were allowed to travel with our drums.
Carl, I
right.
heard you live.
I was setting out my drums, and you guys were burning, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna watch this shit.
You know,
I you know,
gotta say,
I'm gonna be a little bit late, but I have to watch this.
I gotta say it. You know, I love with all my heart, Freddie Hubbard, man. He was like, but Woody Shaw, man.
I mean, the first time I saw Carl play was with Terrence and Donald in Perugia.
Oh yeah,
Cyrus Chestnut and
Oh,
Bobby
because
Whitaker.
Donald Harrison,
That,
you got it.
whatever year that was.
Yeah.
And, but
Carl, I got a
maybe
question for you. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Bill, go
Donald
ahead.
and Terrence, man, that was a great little group that they had for a while.
Yeah, that was around '88. Yeah.
Wow.
I got a question for Carl. Carl, you know that tune, Lotus Blossom.
Yeah.
So now, Freddie recorded another version of it called Asiatic Ray,
Right.
but it was the same tune. But I mean, was that okay to change the name of the same tune?
Can't hear you,
what was the
Pepe.
deal about that song? Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Sounds like your mic's
Oh.
not plugged in, Pepe.
No, my mic is plugged in because I hear you and Carl can hear me.
Yes, and I
I
can
can't hear
too.
him.
Oh.
It's weird.
So, but you
Way
know
louder.
what? That stuff happened a lot during that time, and it was really, as it was explained to me, not so much about that tune, but that whole concept of re-recording tunes under a different name, and it was usually for publishing reasons.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm saying because that's what I thought.
Yeah, like if you look at Freddie's
Oscar.
tune, if you look at Freddie's tune "Bird Like," it's recorded a few times with two different spellings, and that was all about publishing. Like the label owned the publishing the first time, he wanted it back, so he re-recorded it with a different spelling. You know, and sometimes guys would change a couple of notes, and then and publish it under their own thing.
But like,
Yeah, but I'll tell you a funny story, man. So first of all, when I
Yeah,
when I-
that started. You remember?
Huh? Now I was saying when I first came to New York, the gig that I wanted more than anything was Woody. And so when I got the gig with Freddie, it was almost like a consolation prize. It's like, yeah, okay, all right. I know it sounds crazy, right? Like runner up or something, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, Freddie and Woody were very, very close. And when we did those records, we did a gig in Berlin, the Berlin Jazz Festival in October of 1985, and Dizzy was a guest, right? And so I'll never forget, you know, Dizzy comes out on stage, and we had played a tune before, and then Dizzy comes out, and we played ahead, and then Freddie looks at Dizzy like, you know, you go ahead, you take the first solo. And Dizzy was like, no, Freddie, you go ahead. He was like something was wrong with his horn, right? So Freddie take a solo, and then Woody was like, Dizzy, go ahead. And Woody like, no, my valves are stuck. Go ahead, you go ahead. So then, you know, Woody took a solo, and man, Freddie played, and he played, Woody played, and he played. And on all this time, they're thinking, poor Dizzy, something's wrong with his horn. Soon as Woody finished the solo, Dizzy says, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, bop, 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 and everybody, they were like, oh, man. So he was messing with them. Dizzy was messing with them the whole time. Just like, no, you go ahead and do your thing, and I'm going to show you I'm still Dizzy. It was incredible.
Dizzy, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
To me, Dizzy until the end was
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'll tell you something. I did a gig at the Apollo, and it was 5 trumpets. It was Freddie, Woody, Dizzy, Donald Byrd, and Jimmy Owens. And after the gig, we're all in the dressing room, and all 5 trumpets. They're all having a conversation about trumpet players. So then the topic gets to, the question was, who do you all think played the hippest, what they call turnbacks, right? We call them turnarounds now.
Can you do them?
They all said KD.
Canada.
All said KD, including Dizzy. hands down,
Yeah.
unanimous. They all said KD. I was like, wow. You know,
That's true. They start try to figure out what he was playing on the turnaround.
yeah,
KD.
yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, he was the
Yeah.
one, if I'm not mistaken. Now, speaking of KD, was he the one who wrote Lotus Blossom? Was the
Yeah,
first? Is that him?
yeah,
Yeah, because the one that the arrangement starts in 12/8, right? The
yeah,
12/8
yeah.
thing. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Dee-doo-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo. Yeah,
in 12/8, and then goes for the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
That's the one. Okay, that's those. Can I do it then? Good morning to you all. Could I interview what? What's this? Somebody's asking us a question. Hey, good morning to you all. Could I interview with a question? But it's not about Freddie. Yeah, go ahead if you can.
Chef
Ask a
Danielle.
question, Chef. Go ahead with your question if you like. And in the meantime, I would like to, at this point, what should we do about this Prologic giveaway pad?
You know what I think? You know what I
Yeah,
think, Pepe?
yeah.
I think we should have Ignacio come up with a question.
Oh
Ignacio.
no! Wow.
He's the
Ignacio,
he's the pro logic baby, so he needs to come up with the question.
go
Uh,
ahead.
wow. Wow. I hope the question is not. Well, the question can be now that you were talking about Dizzy Gillespie. Who was Dizzy Gillespie's hero? Or who was Dizzy? That's hard, huh? There was a previous a trumpet player before Dizzy that he used to be Dizzy's hero. And Dizzy took it. Is that question too hard?
That's a great question.
Okay.
That's a
You
So
got
great
it.
So, don't Pepe. So, what has to happen? The person has to type the answer
Okay.
in the chat.
Okay. Now, yes. If the question is who was Dizzy Gillespie's hero, trumpet player, favorite
Trump.
trumpet player? Who was Dizzy Gillespie's favorite trumpet player? And the first one who's going to name it and guess, we're going to take, he's going to take home a Prologic practice method pad. And so eventually he's going to send me a private message, inbox me with his name and last name and address. And I will forward it to Prologic company, and they will send you a beautiful practice pad in the mail for free. So, you guys, that's the question. Ignacio, say that again. What's the question?
Who was Dizzy Gillespie? Dizzy Gillespie's hero, trumpet hero. The guy who inspired him, that the guy he used to listen to,
Yeah,
and who was his hero?
yeah. Now that's
Okay.
different. That's different from who his favorite trumpet player was.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure he had a lot of favorites. So
Oh, exactly.
this is Dizzy's hero.
Yeah.
We got Ramon Montagnier, great friend and great drummer. You guys know Ramon?
No, I
Ramon
don't know.
Montagnier?
No.
So Ramon Montagnier
No.
he's the I don't know if you guys ever if you know him, but
I
he
think I
got
met him. He lived in Jersey, in New Jersey.
no.
Huh?
Ramon Montagnier lives in Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's the one who's I'm sure you guys have seen some of his videos. He plays with four sticks, and he got the push and pull technique and his new technique with the sticks. I don't know what the hell is he doing, but anyway, he plays three sticks in one hand, and he does like terrific things. Really. So Ramon Montagnier from Brazil, you guys should check him out. He got a new book out, and he's a great drummer and a great friend and unbelievable Brazilian drummer from Brazil. Very good.
Great.
So Scoop High 45 says, "Can you do them?" But we're not going to say yes or not at this point. See, somebody just wrote Scoop HGH45 said, "Can you do them?" So we should write it down. I'm going to write it down. Oh, but it's there in the messages. So, and at the end of this live stream, we're going to give the right answer.
Any other? Anyone else want to give it a try?
So who was Dizzy Gillespie heroes? Dizzy Gillespie's Dizzy Dizzy Gillespie's hero.
Well, in the meantime, we can talk about something else.
Yes.
Well, we got 20 more minutes. 'Cause I don't
Carl,
wanna keep you guys-
Carl, while you wanted Woody Show's gig to play with Woody Show, who was the drummer in his band?
Tony Reedus.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony
Yeah.
Reedus, man.
Great drummer, wonderful human being.
A
Oh,
wonderful
beautiful,
drummer
man.
and human being.
Yeah, man.
So sad the way
Reedus,
what
and
I
Reedus. You know, we never called him Tony. We just called him Reedus.
Reedus.
That was a one of a kind brother, there, boy. I never met
Yeah.
anybody like him before or since. You
Yeah.
know, one of a kind.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. He's a beautiful cat.
Yeah, no, it's funny because at the time I think what happened to him was 2005 or 2006, something like that. Because I met him outside the smoke, and he was with Canopus drums. Actually, he was a Canopus endorser,
Mm.
and he was on tour. Actually, I think he was on the road with Mike Ledon.
Mm.
Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
think-
They had just
Mike-
come back from Europe. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and he had a heart attack at the airport.
Yeah. Reedus
Unbelievable.
had his own terminology, man. He had his own way of talking about stuff, and and Reedus and James Williams, who was his uncle, and some other guys that they used to call money lamb tongues, right? So I would talk to Reedus and say, "What's going on, Reedus?" Oh man, brother's got to get his lamb tongues
Lamb
up.
tongue.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but now I got a question for Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, who's your favorite drummer?
Yeah.
One of your favorite drummer. I know you got many of them, but name
My
one.
favorite drummer? Besides you
Yeah.
guys? Besides all
Yeah,
you
right.
guys? My favorite
So you got-
young drummer.
You got my
My
money
favorite
for sure
young-
now.
My favorite young drummer is Roy Haynes.
Woo!
You hear that?
96.
My favorite young drummer is
96.
Roy
God
Haynes.
bless him.
Yeah.
96.
He's still the
Incredible.
youngest cat on the bandstand.
Yep. And certainly the hippest.
He's
Sergio.
for me as
Sergio right here
Max
writing.
and Roy, Kenny Clark.
Kenny
Blakey. I love all the guys that I learned to play by listening to them. Kluke, Shelly Man. There's so many, but Kluke was really important, and Max and Roy. Art very much so. I don't know. I don't have one favorite.
Yeah, Sergio
Right
says I'm here
now-
watching.
Right now,
So the nationalism in the deal. I mean,
you
my
have
car,
to,
love you all.
uh,
Love
the
you too.
drummer
We
named-
love you too, Sergio.
Are you guys?
Wow.
Are you guys? You hip to McClinty Hunter?
Yeah. He was a student of mine at Juilliard.
Do you know
Wonderful
who's playing
drummer.
McClinty Hunter?
Yeah. Yep. Very
I know
talented
you
guy.
know. Yeah, he's a bad cat, man.
Yep.
Beautiful drummer.
Best I've heard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But speaking of Roy Hands, man, still nowadays,
The
96.
figure that. Yeah,
I just love him. It's like,
I know.
I mean, he played
Amazing.
for five. How many generation, Carl? Like five
Wow.
or six generation?
Six,
Bro,
man. No,
six
seven.
generation. Seven generation. I mean, he's that with Charlie Park. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like what?
Well,
And
but you
still
He started
today,
playing when he was a teenager.
yeah.
yeah. And
Um,
if you listen to those records, I remember telling him this, and
He's
his
had almost
response was
had
classic.
almost a 80-year career.
Yeah, but
and
I
go ahead.
remember telling him, and his response was classic. I said, Roy, I said, man, it's amazing, man. Your approach from Bird to Mary Lou Williams and Train and some others to all the way through Pat still sounds the same, but it always sounds fresh. And Roy looks up at me. He says, "No shit." In other words, like tell me something new. But man, we were playing at Birdland. We were
Yeah,
playing at the Blue Note with Freddie. And
yeah,
so
right.
after the
Tell
gig,
me,
uh, so after the gig, we were in the dressing room, and so it was Freddie and Stanley Turrentine, a couple of ladies hanging out. So Freddie was trying to show out and show off in front of these ladies, right? So Roy's sitting there. Roy's sitting there. He's drinking this, scotch or whatever. And so Freddie says, "Roy, I can never play with you, man. You're a little short, funny dressing stuff. You got a funny beat." So Stanley was like, "Ooh." Roy's nickname was Agnes, right? He said, "Agnes, you gonna take that?" And Roy just sat there and looked at him. He said, "Oh yeah? I got a funny beat, huh?" "Yeah, man, you got a funny beat with your little funny dressing self." So Roy said, "That's funny, Freddie. You said I got a funny beat because Bird didn't have no problems." So he said, Train didn't have no problem, Monk didn't have no problem, Prez didn't have no problem. And every time he would name a name, Turntine be like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." So Freddie got mad. Get out my dressing room. Get out. Put my alcohol down. Get out.
One thing about Roy Haynes, in my opinion, what I feel every time, how it makes me feel when I hear him playing the drums, is like I call to me, he's like the unexpected guy that you feel like, okay, it's great and wow, and then all of a sudden he comes up with something that unexpected, that I feel like, whoa, where that comes from. That to
Yeah.
me, the wisdom that he has after so many years playing that instrument and that music, especially that music, because I believe that only, in my opinion, only after many, many, many years of playing that style of music that you can really master it and be able to say whatever you want anytime you want at the right time, anytime at the right time, and just come up with that thing that you feel like, whoa, what was that? And that's Ray. Yeah, I heard him play lately. I saw him. I saw some of the videos. Plus, I saw him in New York. Mamma mia, mamma mia. No, I mean that's I mean,
Incredible.
there's no way I can, no words for those type of people. There's going to be no words, and that's one of the reasons why you know, they are who they are, and the message. Then on the other hand, I feel like listen to those people. To me, it's like, okay, here now you can forward see yourself eventually in 40 years from now that what jazz music is about. And I was lucky, and I'm lucky. Many understand how lucky I am, and how lucky are the other people who had the chance to see those people playing. Because one thing is listen to the record, and one thing you have the experience, even like one time in your life, just see the way the man is touching the skins, the way the man is touching the drums. It changes, perspective. At least for me, I see things like, wow, that was. One thing is, I don't know if it ever happened to you guys, but you hear something on the records and you figure it out, you write it down, but then at the end, once you play it, doesn't sound the same.
Exactly.
But then you
Exactly.
see the way he's doing it, the way he's touched, because I also believe it's in the touch, the way you touch the drums, you can get different sounds. The way they did it, which nobody showed them, I guess.
Yeah.
you know, and that's what it's challenging to me. The technical part. We start with practice the technical, and nice to have a great technical abilities and all that stuff. but it's only because then the technical availabilities will give us the freedom to play what we think musically.
But you know,
To
I wonder, Ignacio, were you influenced by, because there's a similar thing between you and Roy, how you play off the drums as opposed to into the drums, and it just makes it feel light and dancing all the time. Were you influenced by Roy,
Of
or
course.
who were you influenced by?
Well, of course, and thank you for the compliment. I was influenced by Roy a lot. My first influence, don't forget, guys, I used to live in a country where I wasn't able to go to a record store and buy albums. So I didn't know history chronologically. So my first idol was Max Roach because I was exposed to the Max Roach, Clifford Brown recording with Harold Land. Anyway, so then from Max Roach, I jumped to Tony Williams, For and More. That was the second album I was able to listen to. But anyway, thanks God, when I came to the state in 1980, I started, like I said, to me it is a blessing. God gave me a scholarship to come to the United States and learn, which I'm still learning, the music of my passion. But anyway, before I left Cuba, a great pianist that used to play with me one day came out to me and said, Ignacio, check this guy out. And when I listened to that, I was like, what is this? And he said, who's this guy? And he said, his name is Roy Haynes. Oh, man. And then, I checked. I was able to check Blakey. I remember Shelly Man with Bernie Kessel and Ray Brown, beautiful trio album. I was exposed later to Elvin Jones in Cuba. Jack DeJohnette, the famous album by Charles Lloyd, Forest Flower with Keith, Ron McClure. But when I heard Roy, I went like, uh-oh. So then when I arrived to the States, I started buying all the albums. Going about playing that into the drums, out of the drums, Carl, I don't know. Because when in Cuba, my generation, we never had a drums teacher. The music formation was strictly classical.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think I'm playing the drums now because a few years back, I would say 6 or 7 years ago, it was when I started going through the rudiments and knowing rudiments and then applying the rudiments to the drums. I never had a drums teacher. Wow. I had a guy who taught me how to grab the sticks, how to play a few rudiments, and reading. Reading was the thing, reading the book. But I'm a self-taught drummer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so happy that I came here. I got the chance to become a professional stealer and steal shit from all of you. which I still do. One of the things I miss the most from New York was the summertime when you were able to walk through the streets in Manhattan and the subways and see great drummer playing. Yeah. I always stop and I was like, oh my God, because for me that was a lesson, like it is when any great drummer play. But anyway, no, I never had a drums teacher, Joe. So that thing that playing out of the drums, I don't know how I came out with that. But definitely Roy Haynes was a great influence on me at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the irony of the names that you mentioned, and you go back to Tony, because Tony was influenced by Roy, Art, and Max.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And it's just, when you start to talk about this whole concept of musical tree, you start to see who's attached to whom. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But you think back to like the 80s and the 90s in New York, we used to all just hang out and hear people, man. I've often said, man, and I will say this forever, I don't think there's a stronger community amongst musicians that exists than that of drummers, right? Because we can not see each other for 20 years, and when we see each other, it's just all love,
Oh, yes. Love and respect, man. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I would love to see into the new generations as well.
Yeah.
Love
And
and respect
Yeah.
for
that's one of the reasons.
your peers.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to show those people and people who follow us at this moment what it really supposed to be. Because see, the thing is, yes, I'm 50 years old, but I'm a lot younger than as a musician. I'm Italian, was born in Italy, moved to the United States 26 years ago, but I am part of I feel you guys make me feel part of the community of the drum community here in the United States. So to me, this is the message and the reason why I go out there, I go live and invite people like you to share, and to share the word, the idea that music is about love. It's not a competition. It's a healthy competition. It's based on getting inspired. It's based on love and so especially respect for the oldest and people who have been playing music before you.
Yeah.
And there is no you without the
We, we,
oldest.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
There's gonna be no you without.
if you look at the four of us, we got four countries represented. So Pepe, you're from Italy.
Yes.
Ignacio,
Cuba.
Bill from United States, and I'm from Wisconsin. Wisconsin's like another country.
Yeah.
No, but that's the truth. That's the beauty, and to me, that's the message. So I always tell all the
Where's your
people
cheese
in
head, man?
Europe,
There's the
in
cheese
Italy.
head.
Bill,
Huh?
where are you from? Where are you from, Bill?
I think he's getting the question.
Los Angeles,
There's a-
California,
You're from LA? I never knew that.
North Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bill, do you have any joke?
From North, I grew up in North Hollywood. I grew up in North Hollywood, California, San Fernando
Wow.
Valley.
Wow. That's incredible.
So let's remind the question
Came
to
to New
we.
York in 1969, but 10 year. I started in LA in '59, right out of high school. I was 17.
Wow.
Then I moved to New York in '69 to work with Gary Burton.
Wow.
Was my intro, and then I've been on the East Coast ever since. So been playing for 62, 63 years. I'm 79 now, and I'm playing
100 years.
62
God bless.
years professionally.
Wow.
playing.
Wow. Incredible.
God bless. 100 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's time for my nap.
no, no, because I think the signal you got a bad connection where you are, Bill.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
so
I see
funny,
that
man.
you getting the questions with
I'm
with the
sorry.
delay. No, but it's okay. So I feel like sometimes I don't
So
want to. I don't
wanna
want
say
to
if you
sound
guys-
like I'm polite that I talk over you. I'll try to
Tell me
wait
why,
as long
yeah.
as I can.
No, it's okay. The thing is that I've been on the East Coast for so long, nobody remembers that I was in LA, and I was very busy in LA for 10 years before to New York. I played with everybody out there, and I was with started recording and playing with all the West Coast jazz people and a lot of Kirk as well. But pretty, I would say a pretty interesting career in LA, but nobody remembers. Even the people that that live in LA now, they still know. Like Carl, you wouldn't know. You're 20 years or so younger than me. So
Yeah.
How many records, Bill?
my first jazz records were in LA. Oh, I have no idea. Never kept track. But
How about you, Carl? You got track of how many
first
records you
record
have
was with
recorded?
Leroy Vinegar's Trio in 1964.
I don't know exactly. I think around 220 something like that, maybe.
Oh, man.
A lot of the stuff was Japanese labels that this was like in the 90s and stuff where we were doing, man, 15, 20 records a year just for some of the Japanese,
Wow. Wow.
Wow. I can tell how many records I did. I got three of them. My grandmother paid for it.
That's funny.
My grandmother paid for it.
That's funny. But Ignacio, you got a lot too.
Quite a few, yeah. Quite a few. But not as many as you. Not as many as you, old Bill.
So let me ask you a question, Ignacio. What was the record that your friends went to Atlantic City? You said that's what we talked about on the private phone call last week.
No,
Your friends went to. Did you go to Atlantic City and Bill?
No, you got it messed up. No, I just told Bill. Phil Woods has a live album called "Live at the Showboat." The Showboat was a place in Atlantic City, I believe, right?
Okay.
And then they recorded that album.
No, it's Silver Spring, Maryland. Washington.
I don't know what I thought it was Atlantic City. Anyway,
in Silver Spring, Maryland. Right
okay.
by DC.
The album is called Phil Woods Live at the Showboat. A friend of mine from Cuba came on tour, came to the United States and brought that album back to Cuba. And he loved me the album. Hey, Ignacio, check this out. And I was listening to that album every day. We had, it was like, oh man, it was fresh. It was a fresh album. So that's how I got exposed to Bill Goodwin for that album that came to Cuba.
Wow.
Yeah.
So finally, Sergio made it home on the homeland of Wi-Fi.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sergio, ma che mi combini? Sergio, ma che mi combini? In macchina, ma non ho
I was
capito.
watching you. I loved it. But it must have been my connection because every time I would pop on my end, it was distorting. And I didn't want to spoil the meeting. I was afraid, they would mess up the sound for everybody else. So I'm like, I'm out till I get home, and I'm home now.
I'm glad. Were you teaching at Berkeley today?
What's that?
Were you teaching at Berkeley today?
No teaching today. But I had that meeting at 3:00 that I couldn't get out of it. The one I was telling you about redesigning these sticks. So finished that, and then here I am with you, masters.
Did you hear the stories, man?
I did.
Carl stories, Ignacio.
Hubbard. I'm going to remember that one. That's a great one.
Oh man, I'll remember all of them.
The funny
all
beat.
of them.
Yeah. But
So
one thing I wanted to say is that, it's interesting now we also get to know each other through our students. In the last couple of years, I've had a couple of students that were taking lessons at the same time or shortly after or before with Carl. And I always ask, when someone tells me, I'm studying with such and such, I like to know what material, what are they doing, and so forth. And I learn from the students and hearing what my colleagues do. So, not only I witness how good they play, but a lot of times it's rewarding to just go like, oh, yeah, you study with Carl? Okay, tell me what he's telling you. That's a big lesson for me as well.
And then, Sergio, you follow up with, don't listen to anything he said.
So, I think you got that student's Nick Barbudo, he's in.
Oh, yeah.
I had him for a couple of years, I'm lefty, so that was the only time I had to switch every kid in the room.
Yeah.
Not only mine, even the student.
No, he told me he loves studying with you, man. He's a great student, man.
Yeah. He's a great young player. He's very serious.
Very serious. Absolutely.
What's his name?
Nick Barbuto.
Ah, Italiano.
Paisano, yeah.
He lives in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. So New Hampshire is very close to Boston.
Yeah.
Boston is in New Hampshire, but then
I'm like half an hour, 35
Yeah.
minutes from the border.
Yeah, I just crossed the bridge.
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway, I don't know if you heard Sergio about this Prologic giveaway. The question is, who was Dizzy Gillespie's favorite trumpet player? Dizzy Gillespie's hero. Is that correct, Ignacio?
Yeah, his hero, the guy he got inspired, to follow. So I'm gonna follow this guy. He's the
Okay.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the question is too hard, man. I don't know.
Okay, so whoever guessed who was Dizzy Gillespie's hero is going to take home this one, is going to receive a beautiful practice spot by Prologic. And so you just need to guess who
Mate,
was.
if we don't get any answer, we have to left Carl to come out with a question.
How
I'm
about
gonna-
if,
we
how
should
about
put
if we cut the pad in 4 parts?
Yeah.
You're right.
because I'm sure he's gonna get a good one.
So, no, I guess,
There
I
it is.
guess,
There is
There it is.
there is an answer. I
You got
think.
it. You got it.
Yep.
Wow.
you got it?
You got it.
Correct. That's correct.
That's it.
Nowakowski.
That's the right answer.
Christoph Nowakowski.
Yes, Christoph is also actually a student of mine from Poland.
From Poland.
From Poland, yes.
Poland.
Wow.
Poland.
So Roy Eldridge,
Well, he got it.
you got it. So
But hold on a second. Is Christoph the same person who put Billy Eckstein before?
yes.
Uh-huh.
No. You know what? Okay, let's do this. Let's go. No. Because he's guessing for the last. I gotta say, first of all, he said it. No misrespect, which I love him. God bless him. Great trumpet player. He said this first. You guys need to see it.
It can't be.
No.
There you go.
General.
Now, then you went back. Bravo. Then, then it said, what's the other one?
Billy Eckstein.
Yeah, Billy, which is not.
I guess
And
I guess
then he got it right the third time.
Christoph says I want a do-over.
Well, but maybe Carl. He's the only one who answers before.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe,
Who
good,
is,
I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm cool.
No. But we're gonna wait
who's
another maybe
Dizzy's second
5-6
favorite
minutes.
trumpet player?
You know.
Yeah, that's good.
No, maybe maybe you have a quick drum question for him.
So
Any of you?
you got it.
For me?
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm just trying to think of something that if let's see.
I got a good drum question. But
Oh, great. Go ahead. No, go ahead, because I'm kind of stumped.
So, who played drums on the first recorded version, or I shall say the official version, before Jocko made it popular? The song The Chicken was recorded on a Maceo Parker album. Who played drums on that cut?
But we gotta help him out
It's
a
a
little
tricky
bit.
one, because most people don't know. Most people don't
Yeah.
know. Unless they
You got-
Google it. But
We can help a little bit. He got a long hair a little bit now. It was his birthday recently.
woo, really? Okay, so you got it. Maybe I'll say that he's a jazz guy, not a funk guy. For whatever that means. But he's more known for being, for doing jazz more than funk. But that cut, Maceo is Maceo. But this drummer played on that session. Anybody?
We gotta
In
wait
the
for
audience?
somebody to answer that.
They're all on Google now.
You're right.
But I know because, but it's funny though. But let me ask you a question because now you put I'm not. I'm getting your answer delayed here. Are you talking about the guy that also plays the keyboard that I know we talk about in private?
Nope. I don't think we're talking about the same guy. In fact, when you said long hair, I don't follow haircuts, but
No, because I didn't want to say his name. That's why.
no, I know, but I don't get barber's reports either. But
So we're not talking about the same guy.
I don't think so. So that song, most people think it's Jocko's because he made it popular. So
No. Somebody else wrote it.
So it's probably. Do I get to guess? I think I know who it is.
Go ahead.
It's a little red-haired guy with freckles.
Yeah,
From Iowa.
You got it. Wow. I don't know if he's from Iowa, but yes, redhead with freckles. That might be. We're talking about the same guy. I'm pretty sure. Bill Stewart.
Hold on. Wait.
Well,
Hold on.
we have half of a
Bill
similar
Stewart.
name. Yeah.
Bill Stewart played on the original recording on the Maceo Parker
Bill Stewart.
album. On that cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to throw it out there because most people don't
Stewart.
know and would not guess. It's not really a musical association you make, but
Well, I know he played with Maceo. Yeah.
okay, yeah. I mean, Bill is a
Big bad
tremendous
cat.
player. He can
Yeah.
play anything he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Roots Revisited.
Yeah, I
I think Bill actually recorded with James Brown at least a couple of times too.
Yeah. Well, what can I say, Carl? What should we do? Should we just go ahead and call the winner?
Yeah.
So, Christopher Nowakowski, you got the Pratix pad from ProLogic. You can take that away, even though I know you went on Google because you were Googling the whole time. But guess what? I'm glad you got it because another thing we should say this. For some reason, he was trying to buy ProLogic Pratix pad a week ago in Poland, and for some reason they don't have any ProLogic Pratix pad in Poland. So that's a new thing. We got to talk to Jason and then just find a way to send those pads. Actually, Christopher, if you know a dealer, and you might want to talk to them and put them in contact with the ProLogic and get some pads in Poland. So, but you got the giveaway. You got a beautiful pad coming on your way. Inbox me your home address, and I will forward it to ProLogic Percussion, and they're gonna make sure to send you a beautiful Pratix pad. And congratulations.
All right, Pepe, you know what? Since he won the pad and he's your student, and I just came out of that meeting where we're redesigning my metal practice stick. It'll be ready in 2 weeks. I'm going to send him a pair on me to your student.
Beautiful. I'll forward you the others. Hey, Christopher.
Great.
Let's help with the youngers, man. That's beautiful. And Christopher is also a very good student. He's a very good drummer. He's a good teacher. He teaches in a couple of schools. Yeah, he's pretty good. And he's going to love your drumsticks.
So, Sergio, tell me about these sticks.
Okay, so these are made in aluminum.
Yeah.
They're exactly like a 5A. Some of the practice metal sticks are really, really big, which I didn't like. So I designed these to be exactly like a 5A. But they're 150 grams each. So they're heavy. and you just use them on the pad.
Right,
obviously, real slow. They warm you up in no time. I use them backstage. I do like 2-3 minutes, singles, doubles, and whatnot. And by the time the show starts, I feel all oiled up. That's the purpose. But
yeah, but now, Sergio, I'm sorry if I stop you, if I interrupt you. This is going to cost you 4 pair of sticks now.
You got as many. You guys are all.
No. Aldo, you got to send one to me.
No,
Carl,
no,
Ignacio,
it's 5 pair.
and Bill.
It's 5 pair.
Five pair.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you just committed suicide, my friend.
Yeah, I'd be honored if you guys want to even just check them out. Never mind, use them or promote it. Just the blessing of you guys taking the time to check them out and see if they work for you.
I definitely want to check them out.
Yeah,
Sure.
me too. Me too.
Okay, good.
So
consider it done.
I'll be happy to.
You have to be you have to be careful not to practice during a light. You can't practice. You can't practice outside during a thunderstorm, though.
I need to improve my
during
my
a lightning
finger.
storm. You can't practice outside. I said you can't practice outside lightning storm.
True, very true. They're also legal. They're legal to carry in a stick bag, and they're quite heavy. I'm going to leave it as that.
Pete LaRocca used to use those here.
I know Pete,
as a weapon. Right?
Yeah. Pete was also Pete LaRocca. What a great drummer from Boston.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but
Pete used to warm up with the.
Yes, sir.
He's from New York.
Oh, I thought he was from Boston for some reason, but I know him on that Joe Anderson.
Practice with the metal sticks.
Yeah.
And I heard, is this true? I heard that
played in
he
Boston, but
quit.
no, he's from
I heard that he quit. He's also a lawyer.
Bronx or town, New York.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
Well, he passed away a couple of years ago.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lawyer.
He was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Wow, Sergio, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
I'm sorry, it took me a moment to get it.
I know.
He quit music and became a lawyer.
Quit music, yeah. But then he came back because I saw him playing in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, gentlemen, I don't want to be a downer. It's after 5.
He would occasionally make a comeback. Actually, he did a comeback record and. Well, I'm glad somebody's busy.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't a gig, so.
No, it's 5 o'clock.
I'm
You're
going to
right.
sign off too. It's great to see all of you.
But
I love you all.
likewise.
I hope I see you all in person soon.
Same here. Pepe, thank you. Thank you for putting this together.
Get me on it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I
Thanks
love
for
you
having
all.
me.
Thank you so much for being here. I love
Hey,
you
Pepe.
all. God bless. Love you, Carl. We'll talk
Love you too.
tomorrow
All right.
in this days.
Okay.
Ciao, Carlo. Ciao.
Carl,
Ignacio.
I'm gonna be calling you. Good luck with that gig, Bill.
Thank you.
I wanna be like you when I grew up.
Ciao, Bill. Thank you. You
Pepe.
guys are the best.
Ciao.
Sergio, take care.
Oh, and Ignacio,
Yeah.
I got one other thing I want to tell you.
Hey.
Love you guys.
Love
All
you.
right.
Bye. Ciao,
Bye.
Bill. Ciao, Bill.
Is that right?
Ciao, Ignacio. Bye-bye, Carl.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I had a great time. Thank you so much for watching. And again, this was one of the best really live stream I had for a long time, since a long time. And Carl Allen, Bill Goodwin, Ignacio Berroa, Sergio Bellotti. I love you guys all. Thank you so much for being part of this beautiful live stream. My name is Peppe Merolla. Please check on my page. Check out this video. Share if you like. There's a lot of great information coming from some of the best drummers, jazz drummers, period, in the world, and some of my favorite, drummers and mentors and friends. So thank you for watching. Much love to you all. I'd like to thank one more time Prologic Practice Pad for giving away this beautiful pad, the Method Pad. So Christopher Nowakowski, please inbox me send me private message with your home address, and I'll make sure I forward it to Prologic and to Sergio Bellotti. You're going to receive also those metal stakes by Sergio Bellotti. Check them out. I love you guys all. Peppe Merolla here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.